Are we good to go? Is my fat butt in here?
Mr. O'Gara.
So how are you liking the construction business?
I enjoy it a whole lot. I like Tim McGovern a whole lot, our general contractor. He's been a great friend of mine since I was probably in diapers, and known my family since I was in diapers. But it's neat to see the physical progress. It's been tough to tell everybody what I envisioned, and then wait. People go, is this really happening? You know,
I've got a lot of questions, and I said, I don't look smart enough to know the answers. Why don't I get a hold of the answers?
Hey, I'm happy to be here.
We sent Bree several messages. Finally, she responded by saying, he's not here, he's working. Well, ask her. I'll call Ruthie.
It is a totally different, separated deal now.
That's good.
I got to respect that. And
hey, does your construction outfit, what kind of construction do they do?
Tim does everything. He does residential, he does commercial, he does tilt-up, he does standard builds.
Get a hold of me. I got somebody who is looking to build a new pit system at the Speedway, I think, and they've gotten to a point where they need to talk to a contractor that can handle what they're doing is instead of pulling in a pit and stopping, they're having islands.
Okay.
Proposals. So you come in and you pull out.
Okay.
And they have to make some changes and do some stuff. So have him
Okay.
email me his information. I'll pass it on.
Will do.
All right. Guess what? It's time for the Autosportradio.com 2015 show. Carl and Eileen are here, so we're ready to rock and roll. And we are presented by Honda. And founded in 1993 to spearhead Honda's entry into IndyCar racing, Honda Performance Development has overseen successful racing efforts at all levels of the sport, from karting and quarter midgets to IndyCar and prototype sports cars. HPD offers race engines and competition products for professional, amateur, and entry-level racers. For more information about HPD and the company's racing product lines, please visit hpd.honda.com. That's hpd.honda.com. I want to mention, as I have for the last few weeks, if anybody's paid any attention, and I hope nobody has, but I am not hobbling as much, and that's thanks to Dr. Rob Schroeder. If anybody has aches and pains, he is a chiropractor, and he's one of the very best. I highly recommend you give him a call, and if he can't help you, he'll tell you, and he'll recommend some places to go. And he said, Dr. Scheid and Dr. Trammell have benefited, because if I can't help you, it's where I send you. You can call his office at numbers 388-8755. And if you need a card, I've got some up here. Give him a call. Trust me, it works. If it can work on me, it can work on anybody. And if you are a sim racer, I recommend Racecraft One up in the same building at Guyan Road, just north of 86th Street. Kelly Jones has a set up there that's phenomenal, and you can go and do sim racing up there. So give him a call. His number is 623-313-3218. Good guy, and we'll help you. And we're going to put together something to have a little race among some people here if we get anybody that likes to do sim racing. He has put together a program, and we can do that. And if you have computer problems, do what I highly recommend, because I use them, Computer Overdrive. They're located at 5240 Crawfordsville Road, right east of the PNC Bank on that little frontage road. See Jack? They can fix anything. The kid is phenomenal. Give him a call. His number is 317-328-0766, and if you need a card, I've got some. Want to mention that the Racing for Corey program is upcoming. It is going to be, when the heck is it going to be? 6 o'clock at Demore. It's, when the heck did that say it was? Huh? December 6th. Okay. It's December 6th at 6:30 at the Demore. Tickets are $100, and it's for Corey, in honor of Corey, who is December 4th. What? I don't know. It doesn't say. I don't have time to read it. I'll fall asleep. But anyway, the young man wanted to be a racer, and he got to race through the help of Tice Carlson, got in a quarter midget, and thrill of his life. He passed away, and they have been having racing for Corey for a number of years. It's a good cause, good thing to get involved in and get down and have a good time. And if you're interested in what's going on in the world of IndyCar and the Mazda Road to Indy program, Trackside Online covers it all. You can sign up for the whole year, and you'll be glad you did. Trust me when I tell you. They give you all the information, PR from all the race teams. It's a great thing. So go to tracksideonline.com and sign up. You will get all the information you need on what's going on. You think, a lot of people think, well, it's the off season, the race teams aren't doing anything. Oh, yes, they are. So find out what it is. Now, my first guest, I want to mention something. I didn't mention it last week. When Jason Penix was here, he was talking about how wonderful it is, their connection with television, and it is. But what we forgot to mention is the IMS Radio Network streams live their practice and qualifying for Indy Lights, the Pro Mazda, and the USF 2000. You have Mark Janes in the booth. During the race, when they're telecasting the races, they got Davey Hamilton with them. They do more. They bring in sponsors, drivers, team owners, and they really promote the series. So I should have mentioned that last week, and I forgot. So now I am. So pay attention. If on a race weekend, you go to your IndyCar.com and click onto it, and you can watch them stream the live practice and qualifying and the races. Now, my first guest is a young man who has spent many years of his long and illustrious life in the world of motorsports. However, the last couple of months he has stepped away from that. Smart or not, I don't know. But it was announced, of course, that he and his wife Sarah were going to put together and building an indoor karting facility. And what I put on my website and some of the information I found, it's going to be something quite spectacular. And I've had a lot of people ask me why. They'd ask me, I don't know. What's going on? When's it going to open? What's it going to have? What are they doing? I don't know, but I got an idea. I'll find out who does know. He is now overseeing the construction of the facility. Glad to have him here. Please welcome Mr. Andy O'Gara.
Thank you very much for having me out.
Was it hard to make the decision, I'm leaving the race team and I'm going to go be a construction guy with a hard hat and all that neat stuff?
Yeah, it's always hard, you know. That's been the last 9 years of my life, being at SFR and then SFHR and then CFH. But I think, my heart's never led me wrong yet, and we had to follow what we believed in and what we believed was the best move for us and for our family at that time. And to be a part of the redevelopment on Main Street right now and to have another opportunity at it, and to have a chance to be interactive with the race fans and the people that got Sarah and I an opportunity to chase our dreams at the 500. It felt right, and it felt like the right time, and we were lucky to have that opportunity.
Now, the race team is just down the street north of you, and you guys have been there, and you've lived locally. Now, speaking of moving, you're down south somewhere where it doesn't snow anymore, it seems like, almost. You have left this area and you moved down in Brown County.
Yeah, we won't be down there too long. We had just a small lake house down there that we bought a few years back with my parents. Partnered with my parents on it to go down and have some family fun on the weekends away from racing, and we sold our property on the southeast side and kind of bought some acreage out there, and kind of really deciding hopefully in the next 6 months to a year what we want to build out there and kind of how we want to build it, and hopefully give our kids a chance to run around on some toys and stuff out there. But right now we're in between, obviously, with all the funding that we've spent to put the facility up on Main Street. We're trying to make sure that we make the right decisions, and so we're making an hour drive every day and shrunk down quite a bit down there.
I guess. How are your kids doing?
The kids are doing great. We are so blessed there right now. Zoe's 4.5, Danny's 1.5. Unfortunately, I think they're probably as big a gearheads as Sarah and I. We just got back Sunday from Sarah's parents' house in Columbus, Ohio, or just south of Columbus, and rode four-wheelers with the kids all day Sunday morning. And it was a little bit brisk, but they were loving every minute of it. They got some land over there to do that, and Zoe's upset with me right now because I tell her I go to work every day, and we're building a go-karting center, and she's been go-karting with me a lot, even at 4 years old. And when I take her to the go-karting center and there's no go-kart, she's still struggling with that right now.
If one of them, or both of them for that matter, came along and said, Mom and Dad, we want to talk to you, we'd like to race, would that fit with your plans? I mean, your mom and dad had to put up with it because you drove. You drove midgets for a number of years. Your brother's driving now. I assume he's still driving.
Yeah.
So if your kids came to you and said, we'd like to race, is that all right?
Yeah, I'd be fully supportive of it either way, to be honest. I'm not going to be the one that encourages them to do that, but if that's something that they want to follow, by all means, Sarah and I would do everything we could to help them get there, and most importantly, to have fun along the way. A lot of the reason that we have gone back to karting, it's more than indoor karting. It's more than a business to us. It's kind of the last spot where we feel in the motorsports ranks to where the politics went away. And it was a lot of fun for us. And even up until a couple years ago, I think the year before Zoe was born, Sarah and I were still down running carts at Daytona for the Nationals over Christmas break ourselves, So it's very important to us. And the kids, I don't worry about, I say this now, but I'm not so much worried about their safety in the sport or anything like that. I worry about the politics a lot more. I worry about the politics from a female standpoint. I worry about the politics from having very little funding to move forward with projects. It's tough, and it can get the most of you sometimes, and it'd be hard to see people that you care about go through some of that stuff.
So you have decided that since the two of you essentially came out of karting, that you're going to build a center. Was there ever any question as to where you'd want to put it? Speedway was number one, I assume, the town thereof.
I'll be honest with you. When we had the dream, Speedway wasn't even a possibility. And when Speedway became a possibility, it was a natural fit. It was something beyond our wildest dreams. And initially, when we started the race team, and then later when we partnered with Wink Hartman, and Wink gave us his vision of building the race shop and being a part of the redevelopment, we had done a layout, and we really wanted some sort of fan interactive area. And we had done a layout that incorporated 50% indoor karting and 50% race shop, and kind of a walkway in between, and a gift shop and an interactive area and stuff like that. Unfortunately, the funding and land and options at that time didn't make a whole lot of sense to move forward with that project. And I was bummed at that time because I saw something that could have been really, really special, and but it never left Sarah and I's vision or platform from 2012 onward. And I stayed in front of the redevelopment commission, and they've been very good to us, and the city of Speedway has been very, very supportive. And to have another opportunity at it a couple years later, and to go in front of those people and to pitch our business plan and show them what we wanted to bring to the area, it meant a whole lot to us, and we were just lucky to be in the right place at the right time, because I think the whole city of Speedway and what they're doing is it's wonderful. And obviously, we're making a big commitment here personally and on the business side, and we're committed over the next 20-25 years to hopefully be a big part of that.
Now, you're building a karting center. Obviously, there's a kart track in there. Is there just one? Is there two? Do you have an oval in there somewhere? Because karting does do a little oval racing from time to time. What all is involved in the karting part of it? We'll get to the rest of it later, but as far as the karting track, you have areas where 35, 40 kart teams show up. You've got room for them inside, or they have to work outside.
Well, I think it's funny, to be honest, to tell a quick story how that all took shape. This building started off at 35,000 square feet, and then slowly kept growing to where we're at right now, almost 63,000 square feet. I had a short vision laid out on paper, and my brother had taken it and kind of perfected it a little bit. I really liked how he had gone, and then we handed the ball to Sarah, and in typical fashion, she took it to another level, and I was like, sweetheart, I'm not sure we're going to be able to afford all this. I don't know exactly where you're going, but the kart track is it's 1,300 feet. It's multi-level, 13 turn. There's a little over a 300-foot banked oval right in the middle of it. 2 independent tracks operate separate of each other. We can run through upwards of 150 people an hour through the facility. We have plans to incorporate events outside of our own carts there. We're shooting to do a national indoor event on the oval. We've been approached by large RC car enthusiasts to do a big national event on the oval. We've invested in a 40 cart plus fleet from Italy, top of the line. We have 2-seaters coming to where Sarah can bring special guests in to give them rides, or some handicapped kids, some opportunities that will allow people that might not get an opportunity to do it. We've invested money in a single cart with hand controls for handicap or quadriplegic that might have an opportunity there. It's more to us than just the tracks. We want to be able to have the corporate opportunity for a single track, but we want to be able to have the opportunity for the general public to utilize the other track when it's not being used. And I think we've got the facility that can do that.
Now, I also understand that you are going to have, when I first looked at it, I thought, something rings a bell. That's how dumb I am. The Grill 1911. Then it dawned on me when I read it, that's when the Speedway started. Oh, really? Okay. So you're going to have a restaurant in there, which means you're going to have a kitchen, I assume.
Yes.
That means you have now cooks and waitresses. A lot of fun with it. They are. I used to own a restaurant, boy. And you're going to have a lounge where if I take Sharon out to run, I can sit up and lounge and have a couple of tastes while she's out running around the track.
Yeah, we may have bit off a lot more than we can chew here, but we'll see. No, we're really excited about this side of it. My parents have been instrumental in helping us with the business plan on that side. Before racing came along and before I was born, our first ancestors came over from Ireland and in the 30s opened the first bars and restaurants for our family in the area, and since then have probably opened somewhere around 20 throughout the Indianapolis area. So this is super important to us. We see a big need for it in the city of Speedway. We've thought of a lot of things that we think that other people haven't. We see a lot of good partnerships and hopefully camaraderie back and forth between Dawson's and Daredevil and Big Woods and some of the facilities on Main Street. The restaurant's going to be about 8,000 square feet, multi-level, two sections of outdoor seating, upper and lower, fireplaces upper and lower. It's got some roll-up garage doors for fresh air environment. We'll have a big 1-inch thick insulated glass section upstairs that overlooks the racetrack, kind of like a cocktail lounge. But it's going to operate totally independent of the kart track. Still something very important to Sarah and I, though, and hopefully something where we can spend a lot of time with friends and family and fans that have done a lot for us.
Now, before somebody that you're not sure where they came from, have they been upstairs? I don't know. Are you going to give them breath tests?
Absolutely. There's a full we have a full plan in place for that, and we'll follow that protocol completely according to our insurance standards and everything like that. So,
and that means you're going to be standing outside watching who came from Foyt's Wine Vault. Get them.
They make disposable breath tests now for about 10 cents a puck. You can figure out whatever you need to figure out.
Is this done? You and Sarah are doing this. It's not part of Sarah Fisher Hartman Racing or anything. It's completely separate. It's you two are doing with your mom and dad overseeing. And, of course, for those of you who don't know, his mom and dad have a place down in Beech Grove called, the hell, it used to be Johnny O's. Now what is it? Oh, Gesundheit.
Just O'Gara's Irish Pub.
Oh, O'Gara's Irish Pub. Okay. I've seen it. I couldn't remember what it was. So, and they're helping you with that division. And they're doing very well down there.
Yeah,
which surprises me. Your dad's there. I think it would go in a tank. When your mom's there, I can understand that.
No, first, we are at a really special place in our lives to be able to pull this off without any partners, and that's something that Sarah and I really wanted to do to where we could follow our vision for the place and move forward there. And we've found great banking partners in Old National Bank that believe in our vision and our long-term outlook here. And couldn't do it without family support too. But from the financial end, definitely just Sarah and I right now, no partners, and hopefully we can keep it that way and move forward and see what we got. But yeah, Mom and Dad have done a great job at O'Gara's and have given us every opportunity in the world, and hopefully we can let that rub off a couple more years and get this thing off the ground here without a problem.
You know, it's amazing me. I was thinking when I decided to try and chase you down, which took some chasing because I wasn't told how to find you right away. I can remember when Sarah had a press conference at the hotel in the tent down below, and Mac McClellan from Columbus, I think, or Cincinnati, I forget where Mac is from, was there to announce that she was going to get a test in an Indy car, and there was three media people there. I was one of them. And I thought, you know, I've seen her race a midget. She knows how to drive. And what she has accomplished in a relatively short period of time, the number of most popular drivers against guys like Al Jr. and some pretty well-named drivers who went out to the West Coast to drive stock cars, and one most popular driver out there a couple times. And then to come here, and you guys have slowly built the team, and I say you guys because you were part of that team, obviously, to where you're starting now. They're starting now to win races. I mean, it's taken a crawl, but fortunately, Wink has stuck with you, and the other people, and you've re-signed, or they re-signed, not you, you're out of there again, re-signed Joseph, which I've had the opportunity to watch how he interacted with the crew, and that's really a slick outfit that he had, the crew that he had, because they pick at each other and poke at each other, and it was all good fun. And when he was here and Anton was here, I just got the feeling, I don't think he wants to leave. He likes where he is, and it's fun racing, and they're giving him a car he can win with. So it's all good, but some of that's changed now.
Yeah, I mean, I think I don't know, you know, all good things come to an end, right? And I think that's my tenure at CFH. You know, I'm excited about the new opportunity. I wish the team all the best, and you know, following that passion from SFR to SFHR to CFH has been, outside of marrying Sarah and having the two best kids, has been one of the greatest things that I've ever got to accomplish. But you know, it's a different world now, and I'll never forget the last 7 or 8 years of what it's taken to get here, and everybody that supported us. I'd say, you know, if I had any regrets, it would be just that, you know, as far as the team has come, I wish that Sarah would have had an opportunity in the modern era with how far the team has come, because we were operating on pennies those first 3 years when she was still in the car, and to get Wink on board in 2011 on a minor role in 2012 as a official partner role, and see what he has done to help grow that place, and then to take it to the next level with CFH again. It's just it's special. It means a lot, but it's a different world too. So you just got to respect the two and be very thankful.
Well, you might not know who I'm talking about, but there's an engineer on the 67 car. His name, they call him Champ. He's supposed to be here, I think, next week.
Champ's a great guy. I hired him as an intern out of IUPUI Motorsports School, and he has been extremely loyal and has grown personally and professionally with the team since 2009, and was there when I left a couple months ago, and as far as I know, he's still there today. But yeah, great guy, very talented. I have no doubt that you will be hearing about him as the next Jeremy Millis, or lead engineer, in the coming years. You know, he's a really good guy.
Well, I'm not going to say what Champ is. I'll wait until he gets here to say, because I was surprised. I didn't know. I said, what the hell they call him Champ for? And they told me. I went, oh, kind of interesting. So I'll wait, and we'll talk about that next week if in fact he can make it. You and Sarah both started in karting. Do you feel that karting is still the way to go if you want to get into Indy cars and open wheel racing? Karting is the way to start for a youngster.
Yeah, I don't know that I'll say the most political thing here, but I don't think there's a defined path. I highly respect the people that have come out of quarter midgets. I highly respect the people that have come out of karts. And, you know, once the defined path after that is so broad, there's so many options today. And unfortunately, I think again, people might not agree with me, but I think that's probably one of the weaknesses with some of our development ladders. It is the fact that there's too many options. I think years ago when you saw some of the serious people coming out of midgets and sprints and silver crowns, there wasn't all these other options, and it was such a healthier time for all these ladder series moving up. But back to karting, I love karting. I would do anything to, obviously right now because I'm doing it, but I would do anything to make a living in that category. I think you meet the most passionate people in that category. You meet people that are there for the right reasons. You come across some raw ability that you can't find other places, or you can't find that early. And it's just a really, really special time, and I don't think that I'm the only one that feels that way. I think if you go across the paddock, you're gonna hear that from 90% of them. That's where we all got our start, and just a little hint to what you'll find out next week. That's where almost everybody in the industry got their start. Not just drivers, but mechanics, engineers, crew chiefs. And if they haven't got their start there, chances are they're probably still dabbling in it on the weekends. So it's very special to us. And the other thing that makes it so special is, we just got back from a trip to Europe, finalizing some of the stuff on this karting center. And one of the CEOs of a big corporation over there that has been super successful in the last 40 years of the sport told me every other sport is based on raw talent. You can go, chances are a typical family can afford a ball and a bat. They can afford a soccer ball, a football. They can afford to put their kids through some of the AAU basketball or CYO football, all these other options. But the sport of motorsport it's ridiculous how much money it takes, even from a karting level, a quarter midget level, wherever you're at. And, I'd like to think that we can create some sort of barrier there with the new karting center to help driver development, to help find some raw ability, to help put some money behind some of these kids that have been our foundation. It's important to us.
It's amazing. Jay Howard is working with kids in karting. Darren Manning is putting something together, has had and worked with some kids up through karting because he's quite successful in karting himself. There's a lot of mentoring going on and driver training in that area. And since most of these guys, or a lot of the drivers, at least in IndyCar, do go up to karting centers and run. They go out to see Mark Dismore out in Newcastle and run. So I got to think, do we go to Newcastle or can we go down with Andy? Let's go run there. It's not as far, save gas. And we can get something to eat. Well, you can eat out there, too. But I got to think,
Well, at least in the winter months, right? Mark, I don't want to take everything away from Mark. I love Mark, but at least come see me when there's snow on the ground, right?
Well, because you'll have all the other companies and corporations in your place during the summertime. But so many of them, and I got to think you're going to draw a lot of drivers. Because a lot of drivers, unbeknownst to a lot of people, they go out and they run karts when they're not doing something else. They're out running karts, so why not come and see you?
Absolutely. It's again a funny side story there. We took our general contractor, our mechanical engineer for the project, and our head HVAC technician to a couple places inside Ohio that I really liked the way they ventilated the place, and they had structured some of the programs over there. Took them to run indoor karts today, and they have a whole new respect for the ability and physical side of it too.
Yeah, but the only thing about getting exhaust fans to pull the smell out in the wintertime when you got heat, you're also sending heat out the door. But
as long as I provide quality, let me worry about that.
Trust me, I'm done worrying. My hair's falling out, so that's out. Do you think that doing what you're doing now and getting it put together and getting it running and all the headaches, and it's always seemed to me, and I've watched somewhat, you see the Little League parents that are yelling and screaming at the coaches and all this kind of crap. I got to think that there are parents who want their kid to succeed who may not have the greatest talent in the world. Do you have the same problem with them? Are they jumping in? How come my kids always land? How come, whatever they gripe about?
Well, I saw that here and there at the race team. I was getting approached from different sides on the next Tony Stewart, on the next Jeff Gordon, on the next Sarah Fisher, or Joseph Newgarden, and God love them, right? I'll probably tell you the same thing in 10 years, but I hope I can help them find a solution to their problems or help them sort some stuff out here or there. We talked about doing some development programs within the karting center to where I don't know, maybe one Saturday a month, to where it's more than driver development, to where we help these kids build marketing proposals to go out and pitch sponsorships, to where we help these kids with public speaking, to where we help these kids with physical fitness, and we help these kids with the nutrition side of not me, but somebody like Joseph Newgarden, because I'm probably going to go have a Tenderloin when we finish this. But
What's wrong with that?
That's something that Joseph Newgarden might not do, but I love him to death. But
Yeah.
no, there's all kinds of sides that I don't think people understand are part of this sport, or that parents might not have the ability to go obtain someplace else. And I'd love to offer a seminar, whether it's giving examples of sponsorship contracts for some of these kids, or giving examples of driving contracts and helping them understand the legal sides. And I think you could put on a 6-step seminar and try to help the next development, whether the kid's a teenager or just starting out in USAC or the Kenyon Midget Series, or I think hopefully we can find a niche that's more than just making a little bit of money on the rental cart side. It's more than that to us.
Well, I think that's where a lot of people are missing. They don't realize anymore how important the resume is, and how to talk to people, and how to present yourself, and how to brand yourself. That's something I think Ken Unger hit on, is branding yourself. So when somebody hears Joseph, they know who they're talking about. Or you talk about Hinch or the mayor, you know who exactly you're talking about, James Hinchcliffe. And branding yourself and getting that, and that's all important. If you can help them understand that and learn it, that's good. It's a good idea.
It's a big deal.
Now, I just want to warn you about something. You may not have figured this out yet. There's only 24 hours in a day.
Yeah.
And all this stuff you're talking about doing, have you got an apartment built in a corner somewhere, so in case you don't get out of there until midnight, you can stay instead of driving an hour down south?
Apartment, couch, restaurant, bar. I'll figure something out. I'm not.
Well, you can take a nap on the bar and bring some plants with you.
I'm committed, so I
that's
promise
good.
you, I'll be there, and Sarah will be there, and our kids will be sick of it here. But hopefully we can give them something for the future to be strong.
When is the opening date? When are you planning to open? That was asked her, and I told her, don't tell them. I'm going to ask you, what time, or when do you foresee in your vision that the doors will open, the ribbon cutting? And
We are on pace. We're on pace right now for April 1st.
wow.
So I'm going to do everything I possibly can to. Probably going to have to keep it small for some soft openings in March, but we're working real hard to enable soft openings the third and fourth week of March. After my parents get through St. Patty's Day, probably. Don't let them. But
I've heard a rumor that quite a few people go down there. I don't understand. There's one of your.
There you go. No, we're working real hard for April 1, and I'm going to do everything possible. And I know Tim McGovern, our general contractor, is doing everything possible to make that happen. We're very, very fortunate to have the people on our side within the build to make that happen. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I'm a professional contractor by any means, but I've been fortunate enough to be a part of the SFHR build and to see this building come up, to see what they've accomplished in the last week, and to see what's on the plans for the next week. We're working to have doors, windows, roof fully enclosed in the next 2.5 weeks at the building. So we're doing everything we can. We got every wall up to date in 8 days. We got every wall up in 8 days. We got 40% of the steel done. We got all the grouting done on the walls. We got 75% of the seal on the walls. We started putting sample painting up today. We're doing everything we can to be enclosed in the next 2.5, 3 weeks, and we got all winter to work inside and finalize everything there. So I think April 1 is very feasible at this point.
Well, I suppose I should say, and I'm serious, that I'm sorry to see you leave the racing team, but I can see that what you're doing is equally as important, and also the fact that you're leaving it in pretty good hands.
Yeah, I mean, there's a great group at CFH. I love those guys, and it's gonna hurt really bad to see St. Pete come around and not be a part of that. And hopefully I'll be a small part at some level next year. And if there's not a spot for me at that time there, then I'll definitely be a part of the 100th running somewhere. I love the sport, and I'm very thankful for everything that has been presented to Sarah and I the last few years, and I'm not going anywhere. I hope to get this off the ground and to get back to it at some level. But right now, with our investments and our family, this is the number one priority for me.
I would think so. Well, I tell you what, I appreciate you taking the time, because I know you're busy, you're traveling, you come in from Cincinnati, you said, that I was able to Shanghai you and get you here. Because as I said, I've had a lot of questions. What are they doing? When's it going to open? How the heck would I know? I get the man that knows.
Well, thank you.
And we appreciate you coming and give our best to Sarah. And
Absolutely.
Wish you both well in both of your endeavors, but I'm sure that at some point you walk down pit lane and you'll take a look. Well, look who's here. Andy's here. How about that?
Yeah, I won't be far away, I promise you.
I'm sure of that.
You got to take advantage of those customers on race day, you know.
There you go. Absolutely. Take the parents out that are having their kids come down there learning how to drive from you and bring them down. Here's where they can end up, and here's what it looks like.
Yeah, I mean, to be able to look out the top office windows and still see the pagoda every day is pretty special.
That's disgusting. I want to wish you the best. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you.
Andy O'Gara. Thanks for coming. Appreciate it.
I will, absolutely.
My other guest is here somewhere. I hope he didn't doze off. Oh, hello. Well, you can come on up here now as I read a couple things. Come on up and say hello, sir. Tonight's show is presented by Sam Pierce Chevrolet in Daleville, Indiana. You got to come to the country to see why the best prices in the country are, in fact, in the country at Sam Pierce Chevrolet. And when you deal with Sam, you will find out why he always is at the top of customer satisfaction ratings. You get a good deal on good cars, and when he sells you a car, he doesn't stand behind you, he stands alongside you. So just take I-69 north to exit 34, go south 1 mile, and you'll see him there. The Indy Racing Experience is the home of the most exciting race car ride in America. They have a 2-seater that you get to ride in the back seat. And if you want to make a reservation and find out when they're available and book one, and of course Christmas is coming, it makes a great Christmas present. And you can call 317-243-7171. You'll talk to Shonda, extension 106. Mention my name, Don K, and you get a 20% discount. So you can buy a Christmas present for somebody and get a discount doing it. I highly recommend, as I have, that if you are an old goat like myself and you remember the cars from the 50s and 60s, they're still around. A lot of them that you actually knew, are still here. And the SVRA, the Sports Car Vintage Racing Association, has them and they run them. I would suggest you go to svra.com and sign up and subscribe to the Vintage Racing Quarterly. It is a first-class magazine. Great articles, and find out what some of the drivers you knew are doing and what some of the cars that you used to watch run, how they're doing as well. So go to SVRA and subscribe to the Sports Car or the Vintage Racing Quarterly. And if it's time for you to get new insurance, do what I did. Call Mike Pardee. He's located at 5004 West 16th Street in the town of Speedway, and let him give you a quote. You might be surprised, like I have and like many people in here have been. You get better coverage for less money. So give him a call. It's Mike Pardee at VP Insurance. The number is 317-248-0070. That's 317-248-0070. My next guest is a gentleman that everybody in this room and anybody listening and watching tonight will say, I know him. He is probably the most recognizable face and voice in all of motorsports. He started with Speed Weeks on ESPN in 1983, I think it was. Gosh, that was a long time ago.
Tell me about it.
He did his tour with NASCAR. He did his tour with IndyCar. He hosted banquets for many, many, many years. And I think he is still currently on the PA at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Please welcome one of the nice guys in all of motorsport, Mr. Bob Jenkins.
Thank you all. You know, I think we should get Don K. to commit right now that he will be among the first to put himself in a go-kart at the O'Gara place.
I don't know if Andy left or not, but he's saying to himself, we got to get a bigger cart.
Well, that's kind of what I had in mind.
I know that.
By the way, I bring greetings from Scott Goodyear. Now, somehow, I don't know how, he heard that I was going to be on the show tonight. So he texted me, and to show you what kind of a multi-talented guy he is, he was texting, shooting video, and driving an Audi A8, I believe it is, at some Canadian A track, and he told me that he would be listening tonight, and that I should take your papers like this and throw them all over the room so you would get real nervous and excited when you had to read them again. Does he do that?
He has.
Yeah.
Now, let us be clear about something. He was driving
Yes.
an Audi on
Yep.
someplace.
Yep. The speedometer read 240. Now, I suppose that's kilometers, and I don't know what that translates to in English, but he was going real fast, and he was texting and shooting video.
Texting, shooting video, he doesn't have to do any unless he's holding the camera.
Well,
on
that's
himself.
true, but still.
But he's texting. Now,
Yeah.
that's exactly, they spend
Yeah,
millions.
don't do
text
this
it.
on the highway, right?
So he goes off the track and smacks a wall and destroys an Audi. Bring the next one.
Right.
So how you been?
Good.
You've been conspicuously absent.
Well, it's because you haven't invited me. I mean, this is the
That's not
first
what I
invitation I've gotten since I left, and here I am.
Yes, I have to say, you are here.
I am.
But you're in a semi-retirement with the exception, do you do anything more than the PA at the Speedway?
No,
That's it?
and glad of it.
Really?
No, I am, except for the Speedway and the month of May and the Brickyard weekend, I am retired, and I'm loving every minute of it. I'm here during the summertime. I'll be leaving for Florida in a couple of weeks and be back in April, and life's as good as it could be under the circumstances.
Sure. Kenny and Janine saying, well, we're going to Florida too sometime.
Well, let's hook up, huh?
You don't do any emceeing of banquets or anything?
No.
You get invited or just turn it down?
The only one I have done recently is the Indiana Children's Wish Fund annual get-together. And that's because Pam and I were very involved in it, and I will continue to support it, although I'm not sure I'll be the MC next year. I have been doing it for many years, but have asked to be relieved of those duties. But that is the only one that I do nowadays.
Do you miss racing or do you watch racing? Do you keep up with short tracks where you used to love to go to? Do you get out?
No, I don't. I haven't been to a sprint car race in probably, 2 or 3 years. And I don't know why. I'm lazy, for one thing. That probably accounts for it. But no, it's not because I'm not interested. I don't still love it. I just don't go. I do watch every IndyCar race that's on TV, and I do watch every Formula One race that's on TV, and that is enough for me.
I've noticed there's a series that you left out. Probably the same one I leave out, too.
And I don't want to talk about that, really, because, as you know, I still have to watch what I say, but as far as I'm concerned, that sport has fallen to its lowest level in history, and what bothers me a lot is all the comments I see on social media about how terrible it is, blah, 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 blah. Here's an idea. Stop watching and stop talking about it, and it may go away. Thank you.
Now, are you on the email list where you get things that come out of IndyCar and the Speedway?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do you think that what they're doing and the schedule they put together is a winner?
The schedule the Speedway put together?
No, let's go with IndyCar to start with.
Yeah, I'm glad to see them returning to some ovals. I think Phoenix, if promoted correctly, will be a big success. Glad to see them returning to Road America. I do hate to see them leave Milwaukee because I still think that with proper promotion that could be a success. But yeah, I'm happy with the way things are going. Again, I'd like to see more ovals on the schedule, and maybe there will be as we get down the road. But we're good right now.
There was a teleconference with Mr. Miles last week, and I was silly enough to call up and listen, and my question to him was, you just released the testing regulations for 2016, and in there it said you can go to Loudon, you can go to Watkins Glen, and I believe Richmond. I said, are you by any chance negotiating with any of these places to go and hold events? He said, no. I thought, well, now, what the hell is that?
I did notice they have a new president at New Hampshire. Jerry Gappens is no longer in that position, so maybe that opens the doorway. And I always like Richmond. I know it's a less than a mile racetrack and it's weirdly shaped, but I always like going there. I thought the crowds were good there. I remember on more than one occasion them opening a certain number of grandstands, and before the race started they had to open 2 or 3 more sections. So again, I think that could be a very successful venue for the Indy cars.
When we were there, I was up in the back straight with Mark Janes, and we noticed the first year the stands were open into turn 1 and just coming into turn 4. By the time we left, they were getting closer to us.
Yep.
And during the time there, I would go talk to fans that were there. I said, what do you think of this? God, these cars are fast.
Yeah.
Faster than the stock cars. No kidding, really.
Yeah.
How do they do it? I don't know. I guess they know how to drive. And the thing that irritates me is you talk to the drivers that say, in fact, I had a couple of them here just recently. How do you like Iowa? Oh, God, we love it. How do you like Milwaukee? Love it. We love the short tracks. It's good racing.
Yep.
Hello, somebody listen to these guys.
Well, I think it all has to do with scheduling, and when NASCAR runs a couple of races at the tracks that you mentioned, or some of the tracks you mentioned, it's difficult to slip an IndyCar race in there. And so as long as that trend continues, there may still be a problem. But again, I'm hopeful we can add some more short ovals to the schedule.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yep.
And the other thing they all say is, give us more horsepower and less downforce. Let us drive the car.
Yeah.
And my contention when I talk to anybody at the series about it, they spend a lot of money for brakes. Use them. What the hell? That's what you got them for.
Yep.
Is there anything about racing and broadcasting you miss?
No, not at all. There are times when an IndyCar race will come on the air at a place that I was at many, many times, and I will have the thought in my mind that, gee, it would kind of be nice to be there and doing the old job. But then when the race is over, I think about getting out of there and getting to the airport or getting back to the hotel, and I say, I'm glad I'm 30 feet away from my bed. Good night.
Do people still recognize you? Do you get emails?
No, not so much, no.
Are you on Facebook?
I never contribute, but I like to look at the ridiculous comments that some other people say. No, I shouldn't say that.
No, that's true. Some of them do say something silly. Some of them are silly. The broadcast team they have now for television, it's never registered with me. It's an American sport, although there's a lot of South Americans and Europeans, but they got an Australian for the lead. Can't they find an American that can speak English and talk?
Well,
number one. And when they said Paul Tracy, I thought, I know Paul Tracy. This is going to be fun. He's turned out to be not too bad.
Yeah, I enjoy listening to him. And I like Lee Diffie. I not only like him as a person, but you can tell when you're listening to him that he has done his homework, and he knows just about everybody there is to know in the sport, whether it be here in the U.S. or in any country that Formula One runs, and that's what I admire about him. So, no, I think I got a good team, and I do enjoy Paul Tracy. He could be a little more controversial as far as I'm concerned, and
well, he makes an effort at it. When they say, "Oh, look at that," he'd say, "Heck, I've done that."
That looked like me,
And I marveled at the Fontana race. That Steve, whatever his name is, Steve
Matchett.
Yeah, he got so into that thing. He'd never seen anything like that. Close racing, Formula One, they don't race that close. He was yelling and screaming and, don't get out, stay there, you can win this thing. Oh, my God.
I had dinner with Terry Lingner and the one of the producers at NBC, not the person who actually produces the race, but a producer at NBC, and I told him at that point that I've always been kind of neutral on Steve at Formula One, but you could tell during the Fontana race that he was having a lot of fun watching that race and was very excited.
I thought that was the best part of it. He was getting excited.
Yep.
I mean, Lee's been there, I guess, and is kind of immune to it, and Paul has done it. And this guy has never seen it before. And I found that very, very interesting to listen to.
Yep.
What's next for you? Anything? You're just going to stay at the Speedway until you can't talk any longer?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I enjoy it so much. I look forward to every day during the month of May. I look forward to the month of May in January, February, March, and April, and any other month for that matter, because it does mean so much to me to be there and to have an opportunity to do something for it is a very big thrill for me. And especially this year with the 100th running, I think that there's going to be so much promotion of it and so many different things. In fact, I think I heard Doug Bohl say on Channel 8 that the race is 200 days from today. Is that right? Yeah. Wow, I can't wait. Bring it on.
You know, the thing I find interesting is, since you're sitting on your little chair up above pit wall, and I wander around because I got nothing else to do. I'm too old to be changing tires anymore or cleaning cars, and they just say, get away. So I listen, and it's amazing to me, and I think a tribute to you, the people that hear you. Bob's here. Bob's the best. Bob understands. I think you have made a mark in broadcasting and in motorsports, and people recognize it and appreciate it.
I very much appreciate that. I really do. I can't even begin to tell you when I was growing up in East Central Indiana about what I thought about the Speedway, what I thought about the drivers and anything connected with the Speedway. And again, to have even a small part as I have in being there and helping, it's just the best for me. And one of the reasons that I enjoy it so much is because of the fans and their comments to me, whether they be good or bad. But I love all you race fans. I really, really do, and I'm so thankful that you have supported me during my career. Thank you.
And you have a very distinctive voice, and people that know and have been around the sport recognize it, and those who hadn't heard you or maybe here for the first time say, he's good.
Yeah, you know, you asked me a little while ago if people still recognize me, and I don't know. I don't think Crawfordsville has a real big IndyCar base, but it seems that when I am recognized, it's when I open my mouth, and they hear the voice and they think, oh, yeah. The guy that lives across the street from me, I introduced myself once, and I don't like to do this because I don't like to make people think that I'm somebody that I'm not. But I swear, when I met him, he looked at me for 10 seconds at least, just deer in the headlights. Oh, yeah, you are Bob Jenkins. Yep, I sure am. And I live right across the street from you. Now stay away. No.
Do you go to any of the short tracks in Florida when you're down there? I mean, East Bay, I don't know where you are, but...
I'm just north of St. Petersburg, not too far from East Bay Raceway, which is down south of Tampa in Gibsonton. I threatened to go down there last year, but I didn't, and I'll say again, when I get the urge to go to a race in January and February, I'll promise myself that I will go to a sprint car race there, and I probably won't, but I'm, again, lazy, so... That's the first place, by the way, that I met Jeff Gordon, you know, when he was 13 years of age, driving a sprint car.
And now here you are from when he started. At an early age, he is now retired.
That's right, yeah, and going to be a broadcaster. Good luck with that.
Well, I think he's been there and done.
Oh yeah, he'll be very good. I know he will.
I got to think when Tony retires, and it's at the end of next year, that they're going to find a place for him in the booth.
Yeah, very possible.
Those two could be good together.
Yeah.
Oh boy!
Now Jeff's going to do very well. He will, again, do his homework and be ready for the broadcast. I could see Stuart in a studio position being somewhat controversial, can't you?
Oh, no.
Tony?
Are you serious?
You think?
Oh. Nice guy. He never says anything
course
that
not.
crosses his mind.
That's why we love him.
Yes. And I thought to myself, what if he was in Kenseth's place? Now, Kenseth has appealed. I got to think Tony would have been on top of the bus screaming.
I don't want to talk about it.
Okay.
I'll throw your papers all over the room if you keep that up.
Well, it's nice that you are still here. Your voice hasn't changed a bit. Your appearance hasn't changed a bit. So I know a lot of people that when you come in, oh, Bob's here.
Well,
he didn't say anything. Well, I saw him.
I'm on a diet. My blood sugar got all out of whack, so I told myself I had to go on a low-carb diet. How do you stay so slim, by the way? You got any secrets that you might be able to pass along?
You notice these people are laughing.
I know. I don't understand that.
I don't either. I have several friends. You know Packy Weber.
Oh, yeah.
I said, how the hell did you lose so much weight? He said, it was simple. Really? I quit eating bread.
Well, that's what I'm trying to do, too. There are three things that I like more than anything else, food-wise. Pasta, potatoes, and bread. And you can't have any of them on a low-carb diet. I had a breaded tenderloin back there with a bun a while ago. I'll probably pay for that for a couple of days, but it was so good.
Yes. Well, I have got the bread whipped, and I love sandwiches. You know, have you ever tried to get a ham and cheese or something without bread? It's kind of tough.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
But I haven't whipped the pasta. Now, I'm Irish. Why in the world I like pasta is beyond me, but I love it.
I just love pasta and everything, any kind of pasta I love, and bread.
But
and potatoes.
In 2.5 weeks, I've lost 13 pounds. It doesn't show.
Really?
But the scale says you're done. Well, how about that?
Yeah, you determine your weight in calendars, right?
And what's wrong with that?
Nothing. Not a thing.
Well, I'll tell you what. I didn't realize what you were doing, or I thought you were a little busier than you were.
No.
Otherwise, I would have called.
But the good thing is I don't get bored doing nothing. I can occupy myself. I bought what I thought at the time was the perfect size house for me, as just me now and Bailey, my dog. So I bought the perfect size house, and what did I do? The very first thing, I built a 20 by 24 foot room addition and increased the size of my deck by about 5-fold. So I'm very comfortable in my new surroundings right now. I had to have room for my toys, and I didn't have room for toys in that small house, so I had to build a room addition.
And you didn't think of that before you bought it?
I didn't think about it.
Well, unfortunately for you, I know how to get a hold of you, and I would like to invite you back when you come back from Florida, all nice and tan.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, again, I don't do much there either. I live on a golf course, so I sit in my room, which looks out on the 18th or maybe the 8th fairway, whatever, and watch people try to play golf, which is a great fun for me. And don't get much sun, but I'd be glad to come back anytime.
Well, I'm going to invite you back.
You do that.
I hope you enjoy your time in Florida. Enjoy the holidays.
Thank you.
And
you too. And everybody out there.
And if you run into Kenny and Janine, God forbid that you do anything out of line there.
I have known Janine probably longer than anybody I still hang out with or see once in a while, because she was there when I was in high school. We didn't go to the same high school, but we, of course, were good friends because of her first husband, and so we've been friends for many, many, many years. She's a good person,
good
and
lady.
so is her husband.
And I used to feel bad. You go into the museum and there's Janine sitting on a stool, people coming in. You see Kenny, he's out working, end up delivering, and gets back in the van quickly, and off he went. And now look at them. They're a lap of luxury.
That's what retirement is all about, Don. You should try it. Well, not that you need to give up this show, because God knows we couldn't do without it. But retirement's great. It really is. I love it.
I do too. I enjoy it. I don't have to get up until I feel like it.
Right?
I go to bed when I damn well feel like
Yeah.
it.
In fact, what is it, 8 o'clock? About 8:30, I start yawning. So by the time I get home, I may be asleep at the wheel.
Are you telling me to hurry up?
No. I'm just telling you that I'm not a late person.
I think I am, but then I wake up in my chair and say, "Why am I here? Why did I go to bed? So I turn the television off."
Yeah, I can't do that. I can't go to sleep in a chair. I have to go back to bed.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time on
you.
quite short notice. You're what?
I said thank you.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Enjoy yourself in Florida, and will we see you at the race in St. Pete?
Again, I look so much forward to that, and I live about, as the crow flies, less than 10 miles from the track, and I didn't go down. I might this year or next year.
It's crowded, so you got to be a little careful.
Yeah, that's true, and I don't like crowds. So.
Yeah, well, silly thing to have a race in Florida in March.
Yeah,
Where the hell do people go from here? Where do they go in the winter? Florida.
yeah.
Good idea. Works out well. Well, we'll look for you.
Okay,
Won't hold my breath, but I'll look for you.
exactly. Come visit me.
Oh, yeah, okay. You'd love that, wouldn't you?
I don't care.
I
Sure.
see ya. Well, sadly, I have your cell number.
I'll cook you a hamburger or something, or a hot dog.
There you go. All right.
No bread, right? Thank you.
Guess what? I bought some hamburgers. I eat them just without the bread. Put
Yeah.
a little
Yep.
relish on them. And
Got to do
Consume.
that. Yep.
well, I appreciate you coming.
Okay, thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Thanks,
one of the
everybody.
best. Oh, Bob Jenkins.
You. Now I'm going to throw your papers all over the room.
Yeah, I know. Scott, next time I see you, boy, giving him an idea like that wasn't good. We will be here next week. I have somebody who's committed, or they said they could make it this coming week, next week, and I haven't heard back that he will confirm that, but when I do, look at autosportradio.com, click on the current guests page, which today didn't change until yesterday, and see who's coming. We appreciate all of you watching and being here. Want to welcome Woody back in town. He packed up and left. Woody, we're welcoming you here. He came back to see some medical staff. As you can see, he's got the women with him as usual. I wish you'd stick around, pal. And he said, I'm taking a load back. How big a load? An entire trailer. 53-foot trailer's got all his stuff in it. That's the second one. Boy, he's got a lot of goodies. Anyway, we'll be here next week. Check us out on the internet, autosportradio.com, current show. See who the guests are. Till next week, Don saying good night. See you next week. Goodbye.